You may have heard us talk about this on previous podcasts. This is the third of the brilliant adaptations of Agatha Christie stories from the equally brilliant Sarah Phelps. She's done 2, and then there were none, and Witness for the Prosecution. This was slated, this Ordeal by Innocence, for Christmas just gone, but after one of the actors, Ed Westwick, which is harder to say than you'd first imagined, was embroiled in the sex scandals and things, and was subsequently dropped by the BBC. They obviously dropped this, and I was concerned that we may have seen the last of it, but no! They cleverly, really cleverly as it turns out, reshot his scenes, played by a new actor called Christian Cook. So the first episode of the 3 went out on Easter Sunday. Traditionally, these Christie adaptations have gone out what they call strips, so over 3 nights or 2 nights or whatever. For me, it would have been beneficial to have this on Easter Monday, because I was watching it with the folks, and it did take a while to just piece together who everybody was, their connection to everybody. It's about the death of Anna Chancellor's character. She's the mother who couldn't have any children of her own, and so adopted a load of random children, it would seem, and homeschooled them. And as the show progressed, you saw that their beloved life was actually anything but, and that Anna Chancellor had sort of an evil streak and was hated.
She's abusive, basically. She wasn't she? She was abusive to the children. There was a scene where, was it the Christian Cook character who couldn't say butter?
Yeah, butter, just kept saying butter, like butter. If Gary was here. Yeah. Just imagine.
So she sort of went at him with a compass, basically.
Yeah. Should have been a butter knife, but I understood the idea behind it. Although this life initially presented to us was idyllic, actually she didn't like any of the children, and the children had reasons to see her dead, and it began with her brutally murdered in one of the massive rooms of their house, and the son, whose name I forgot. What was the...
Jack is the name of the son. Anthony Boyle is the actor who's also playing Chris Eccleston's son in Come Home.
He is convicted of her murder. His fingerprints are all over her body and the murder weapon. And within the first few moments, he is convicted of the murder. Bill Nye, who is her husband, is speaking to him in prison saying, well, why can't you just be honest? You did it. He's saying, I didn't. There's a man in striped pyjamas in a car that you need to speak to because he can give me an alibi. I was nowhere near Mum at the time. It then transpires that he has an injury in prison, we're told, and then we see his body in the coffin in the living room with the family gathered around. And then 18 months go by, and Bill Nye's character is remarrying a woman played by the brilliant Alice Eve here, who, again, the children are taking against, not just because they don't like her, but because they feel that Bill Nye is moving on too soon. And I did hear an interview on the radio with Sarah Phelps saying, of all the Christie novels, this was the hardest to adapt. And I've not done a great job there of summing it up.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would say in your summing up is that Jack... The accused always protested his innocence, and his alibi was that he'd picked up someone in his car.
Pajama. Yeah,
or someone had picked him up. Was the other way around, wasn't it?
He asked somebody for a lift. They picked him up, and they asked for the time, and it was just after the mother had been killed. So
9 o'clock. Asked him for the time, and this person turns up on the wedding day of Bill Nye and Alice Eve.
They'd had people turn up before. So they were kind of shooing him away and saying, look, you're not even matching the description that Jack gave, so don't even, try and fool us. We've been down this road many a time.
Luke Treadaway, the doctor, basically comes and says, I've been on this research mission in
the Arctic.
But then later on it turns out that he might have been in prison or something like that, so there's more to that character than meets the eye. But as you say, at the end, it's sort of like the flashback to the day that that Anna Chancellor dies, and you hear the screams from Morgan Christie, who I thought was excellent in this as the cook in this, and you see basically everyone sort of covered in blood or running away, and there's so many different suspects, and we are led to believe that Jack was innocent and someone else did commit the murder.
I also would like to say that I've never been a massive Christie fan. I'm not one that like Miss Marple or Poirot or anything like that. But what I would say is that these adaptations appeal to me so much because Sarah Phelps creates such an atmosphere in those scripts, and the direction is always so good. I don't know how you watch this, but on my TV downstairs, this looks it looked absolutely stunning. It was really, really stunningly shot. All the colours were very vibrant, and although it wasn't an easy watch to begin with, I just found myself becoming more and more drawn in, more and more intrigued by the connections within the family, and how that everybody had something to gain, perhaps from Anna Chancellor's character being dead. And I literally cannot wait to see the next one, which I could preview, but I just want to watch on TV on Sunday night. I thought this was absolutely triumphant, actually. I really, really enjoyed this.
I don't feel that there was any characters that I sort of sympathised with. I liked the performances. The story was well told, but I didn't have a massively good impression of it. It's probably the best drama that I've watched that we're talking about in the review section anyway. But that's sort of damning with faint praise, really, seeing as what else we've been talking about. Yeah. But I will carry on watching it. Yeah, definitely.
I do feel like it had a momentum going throughout that will be somewhat lost when you come back to it the following week. But yeah, I don't need to say again, I really enjoyed it, and I've not been a fan of the majority of the BBC drama output of late. So for me to really enjoy
a rare treat for you.
A rare treat.